Hi, my name is Hannah Smolich, and this is the Started in Stamford podcast. I interview the entrepreneurs of Stamford to learn a little bit more about what they do and why they do it. Today we have Shannon Daniels with us. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, can you explain a little bit about what your business is?
Yeah, so Encaptiv is actually an interactive presentation platform with a built-in sales enablement component. So what we do is we take the presentation that's your PowerPoint or whatever it may be, you upload it right up into Encaptiv, but instead of just displaying it on the big screen, we push
Mm-hmm.
it out to all the audience members' devices so they can see your slides in real time and interact with you. Questions, polls, anonymous feedback, they can take notes and bookmark slides, all kinds of stuff. And then at the end of your presentation, when you have a call to action, whether it's schedule a meeting with me, buy what I'm selling, donate to my cause, or anything else really, you can push that out to all of your attendees so they can complete that call to action right there on the spot.
Oh, that's great. So, it's kind of like an all-in-one presentation tool. People get to
Yep.
interact. Awesome.
Yep. And then we're able to provide the presenter with a lot of data and analytics that they wouldn't normally get for an in-person interaction. And
Okay,
now a virtual interaction because we've had to adapt and make it
of course.
feasible for virtual. And we're also getting ready to roll out a multi-presenter events aspect to it as well.
Wow. Just curious, what type of businesses use your tool?
We have actually a wide range of businesses using our tools. We have a lot of small business owners, entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
consultants that use it. We have some professors at universities, teachers at middle schools, high schools using it. So education, small business, but we also have like large events that we've started to move into their space. We were actually going to be debuting our events portion of our software at Tech Day New York, which is a
Yeah.
15,000 person all day event. And of course that got canceled, postponed. So we'll still be using it just
Yeah.
later on when it gets going. So we have a wide range. We also have people at larger enterprises using it as well.
Awesome. Great. So how and why did you begin in captive?
Yeah, so I actually spent the majority of my career running sales and marketing departments.
Okay.
And as part of that, I gave a lot of presentations.
Yep.
I taught a lot of people how to give effective presentations, especially sales presentations that are meant to convert people to get that sale at the end of the day.
Hmm.
And then when I left my corporate career and went into being an entrepreneur, I naturally used presentations as a way of building my business. So getting my name out there, building credibility, getting leads, all of
Hmm.
that kind of stuff. And working around and with other entrepreneurs, I saw that a lot of them had the same issues with presentations and presentation software as I did. And so I was seeing this in my corporate life. I
Yeah.
was seeing it in my entrepreneurial and small business life. But then I was also teaching college. I have a master's in interpersonal communication. So I was teaching public
Hmm.
speaking and communication at the college level. And I was seeing it in the classroom as well. And I went in search of a solution that kind of fixed all the problems I was experiencing, my fellow entrepreneurs and business owners were experiencing, and just everything I'd seen. And nothing really fixed all the problems. They kind of solved part of different problems. So I said, I'm going to sit down and draw this out on a piece of paper. What would my ultimate be? And I started showing it to people, and they were like, oh my gosh, when can I sign up? And my answer was, you can't. It's just a drawing on a piece of paper. Okay, well, when are you going to build it so I can sign up? And that's when I knew, okay, I'm not the only person that's really experiencing all these problems. And I set out to create it. And here we are.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. There's definitely some difficulties sometimes with, especially with students, just because I'm a college student and know, um, paying attention to very long lectures. So, I mean, interacting and really having to interact would be useful for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So why did you believe the presenting industry specifically needed to be innovated? I know you kind of touched upon the different difficulties that people face, but in
Mhm.
terms of innovation, what was kind of your goal with that?
Really, it just came down to solving a problem, a pain point that I personally kept experiencing. And then as I was working with other people, I also do communication and public speaking coaching and consulting. And like I said, was teaching for several years. And
Yeah.
I just kept seeing and hearing this problem over and over. And I felt like there was a real opportunity there and a real gap in the market for filling that opportunity. And so I felt like it was a good time because the technology's there. The presentation industry was starting to really grow. And it was actually starting to become a crowded industry, but more in the slide building space as opposed to the slide sharing space.
Okay.
And what makes slide sharing different than like screen sharing, for example, with Zoom, is when you're screen sharing, people see everything that's on your screen. And I've seen some people have uh-oh moments. I know there was a professor that recently got fired because he had a big uh-oh moment of having, not realizing there was a porn site open. He
Wow.
didn't actually show the porn, but people could read the
Yeah.
little tab. So of course he got fired, and that went viral on the internet. And what SlideShare does is it lets you literally only share those slides with people and have
Okay.
those interactive components. So people aren't seeing what's actually happening on your screen. They're
Yep.
seeing what you're displaying to them, literally via slides that are already uploaded. So just like it would be if you were in a classroom and showing the PowerPoint up on the screen and that's all people can see, that's a slide share.
Okay.
So I just felt like there were so many opportunities there. And then the more we got into it, the more we realized there's some huge pain points in the events industry with deck collection, and getting all the presenters to submit their decks, and then last minute updates to those decks and presentations. And then of course, all the analytics around what happens on the content level of the event. And so really the whole presentation market is something that's never going to go away. I mean, we see where we are right now in this virtual world, and we've had to adapt our product to be more viable for the virtual world, which was good because we're a web-based application, made it a lot easier. But presentations and in-person interactions are never going to go away. We might have like more of a mixed mode thing with all this stuff that's happening, but I just felt like the market needed something. I mean, the last major thing we had was PowerPoint, and then Prezi was a big player that came in and adapted it. And we saw how many people jumped on Prezi and these other opportunities, other presentation softwares and different ways to shake things up. So it's clear that that industry was really needing innovation.
Of
So
course.
it's kind of a long way around it, but yeah.
In terms of slide sharing, how exactly does that work? Is it an app, a link?
Yeah, it's a web-based application. So there's nothing to download for the presenter or
Okay.
the attendee. And when attendees are going to join, basically you as a presenter send out the link to Encaptiv. You say, go to encaptiv.com. Each presentation or event has a unique 6-digit code attached to it.
Okay.
And so they share encaptiv.com and that code. And then the attendee literally goes to the website, enters that code. It'll ask first name, last name, and email. And the attendee can decide whether to share their email with the presenter or not. And then they're joined in. And since those slides have been pre-uploaded by the presenter,
Yeah.
the attendees are seeing those slides as they're sharing them. So when I change the slide on my end as a presenter, it changes on your end as an attendee. And as an attendee, you can navigate backward to slides you've previously seen, but you can't navigate ahead of where the presenter is.
Got it. Okay, that's very cool. Definitely seems very easy to use.
You'll have to give it a try.
Yeah, definitely. Last question. So in terms of giving effective presentations in 2020, just with the worlds we live in now, why do your presentations specifically work for today?
Yeah, the great thing is people being home. I think a lot of people, I don't think I know because I'm just reading about it like crazy. People feel death by Zoom right now, right? And first of all, it's hard to get 20, 30, 40, 50 plus people on a Zoom with all these windows and to manage that discussion. But people are also struggling to keep people's attention. When you're sitting on the other end of a computer screen and you're having a one-on-one or two
Yeah.
or three or four person conversation, it's a little easier. But when you have that many people on, you have to find ways to not just talk at them and share content to them. You have to find ways to make it interactive and bring people into it. And so that's really, really important right now. And there are some webinar softwares out there. Even Zoom has a polling functionality and stuff. So using that functionality, like interactive questions, polling, shaking things up. Don't just
Yeah,
shove information at people. Make it two-way, make it interactive, because that's really what's going to keep people engaged. Because if they're sitting on the other end of a computer screen right now, which everybody is, they're going to be distracted by their emails and their Facebook and everything else that's popping up on their screen. So interactivity and engagement is so key to the way we give presentations right now.
of course. And even before COVID-19, for just people in the business world, people are always distracted by something. It's human nature. I
Yep.
mean, we definitely need to interact with whatever topic someone's presenting on. It's important. And for
Yep.
colleges too, of course. Students
Yeah,
students
absolutely.
always struggle.
Yeah, it reinforces the message
Yeah.
when people can actually tactily be involved in it. And people's attention spans are short today.
Yep.
Most presenters lose their attendees in an in-person situation to their devices within 8 to 10 minutes of starting a presentation. And online, they say you need to engage your audience every 5 minutes or so just to
Yep.
keep them going and interacting so you don't lose them.
Of course. And that could be so difficult, especially if you are used to giving a presentation based on lecture. I mean,
Yep.
Encaptiv definitely innovates the way people just want to do the way that they're presenting.
Yep. Yeah. And it's a learning curve on both sides, right? Now that I become part of the presentation as an attendee, and I have to remember to pull my attendees in, not drone on to them. But
Of course.
that's presentation skills 101, and good presenters were doing that interactive aspect of it in different ways, even before technology gave them those capabilities. So it's helping people be better presenters overall.
Of course. Well, thank you so much for coming in today.
Yeah.
Where could people find you?
You can check us out at encaptiv.com. That's encaptiv.com. You can call us at 844-489-2837. You will get a real person for
Awesome.
support and help. Or you can email us at support@encaptiv.com or email me directly at shannon@encaptiv.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.